Hi there. Welcome to my beautiful co-host Corinne Mooney from Arizona, and I'm Anne Anulas Angel Place from Greece. So we are both in kind of hot places, aren't we?
Yes.
And welcome everybody to Cosmic Sister Show and the host Corinne and myself. Today we will talk about embracing illumination, the journey of reaching the light. So, cue the stardust and turn up your soul's frequency. Welcome to the Cosmic Sister Show, where transformation meets truth and the divine takes center stage. Your radiant hosts, Corinne and Anne, are here to ignite your inner glow and guide you through a journey unlike any other. Embracing illumination, the journey of reaching the light. In this episode, we dive deep into the soul's path from shadow to radiance, unpacking what it means to awaken, to remember, and to, this is in Italian, right? I'm saying it in two different ways. Dare alla luce.
Yes.
But when I Googled it, actually, it says something similar, usare alla luce.
Thank you.
So one of these, I think maybe Dar alla luce is a statement that is well known, and that means to give authentic self. This is your okay. I'm going to say that after. Sorry, off the record here. Um, From breaking through old patterns to reclaiming your authentic self, this is your invitation to rise. And so cozy up, tune in, and let your spirit expand. The
Yes.
universe called, and your light is ready to shine. And today we have Wednesday, July 23rd. And again, we're going to talk about embracing illumination, the journey of reaching the light. Let me
Yes.
see if I can find this. Dare alla luce, usare alla luce. That means to give to the light.
Hmm.
That is so beautiful. And they say that, I think you said, when babies are born, right?
Yes. Instead of using the word, I'm going to give birth, that's what they say. So the soul that they're carrying,
Yeah.
they're going to bring it into the light. So they don't use that crass, oh, I'm going to, go have a baby. No, I'm bringing it into the light. And that just struck my heart. It really did.
And that's beautiful. So just a few more things here. You can find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. And you can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. And we currently have two series. We finished up the Four Agreements, and now we are streaming the Celestine Prophecy for
Hmm.
you all. And that's going to take a while because it's 12 insights to
Yes.
share and talk about.
Yes.
Our last show on Cosmic Guardians was with us last Wednesday, and we talked about cycles of souls, unraveling the mystery of reincarnation and our continuous return. That was a really interesting show, to be honest.
Yes.
And if you missed any show whatsoever, go to angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past or youtube.com/at angelplaceonearth/streams. There you find all our episodes, right?
Yes.
And where are we? And you can connect with us, find upcoming shows, find Kareen, her any way that you can connect with Kareen or myself and articles and much more at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. Now, let's stop talking and diving into today's show.
Well, we got to get the business out of the way. This was a beautiful topic that you kind of brought into our vision here. And what I noticed is what lies within our darkness springs to life when our inner light begins to radiate illumination. Darkness conceals our truth, but by allowing the light, we begin to find our true potential to shine. And in the beginning, is said in many scriptures and everything, in the beginning there was darkness. And when the light was born, it gradually dissolved the emptiness that engulfs the soul. This is the illumination of spirit, a powerful expression of unbiased, non judgmental, unconditional love. It is your brilliance that begins to breathe life into the void of space.
Wow, that's beautiful. And there's no need to separate light and darkness in the sense that you
No,
just work on shining your light and shadows and darkness fade away.
yes, that's true. And our illumination actually begins at birth. And when we're moving from the darkness into the light physically. And that's why that phrase, that beautiful phrase that translates to give to the light, really struck my soul. Because how beautiful is it that when you're carrying a new soul and you are giving it the opportunity to step into the light? And it just struck me that many times you will hear stories of when a woman gets pregnant and they said, oh, there is this glow about her. Well, what if the joy of knowing that this other soul is within illuminates her radiance, but also the soul and the light from the newborn child or the upcoming child creates this, and everybody can see it? Because I mean, people will just look at someone, oh, you must be pregnant, you've got a glow about you. this
Yes,
aura this aura that uh, artists used to draw around the enlightened people, and everybody thought they were halos, but it is their aura. And there have been times when I have been coaching one of my students, and Alex particularly, he just stopped and he looked at me and he said there's white all around you, and it's like shimmering. And because I was in this joyful place, I was speaking from my soul to his soul. And we have this, and we need to be able to touch it and use it and anticipate it and embrace it and then move
yes,
on, you know?
yeah. How do I reach that light within myself? A good question, right? Starting from now.
That's a good question. Yes, that's a very good question. And uh, I know you and I were drawn to certain things. And as our spirit begins to say, we no longer need the limitations of other people, we no longer need other people's opinions, there's something within us that is trying to give birth to who we truly are. And when we shine the light and turn on the light, and honestly, sometimes it feels like a click. You go click and the light turns on, or and it gives you the strength to say, okay, the brighter I shine, the darkness around me seems to dissolve. And that is living in the shadows, I have the courage to confront and release and embrace and become whole with both sides, which is very important.
It is important. I think this is most people, even if we acknowledge that we are wanting to walk a spiritual path or not, I mean, doing a conscious journey, most people have this longing, a deep
Yes.
urge for finding, feeling good, feeling happy, finding yourself, have the courage to just be you, right? And that is also about finding the light within.
Yes. And being and living in joy, not
Yes,
ENJOY, but in joy. When you start radiating that joy within yourself, it seems to illuminate everything around you. Um, and you begin your self discovery. There again, looking into things that need to be addressed, releasing lifetimes of trauma, letting go of negative patterns, and replacing them with that inner joy and peace. Because if you create a vacuum, the law says that any vacuum needs to be filled. So if you create a vacuum by eliminating, let's say, this particular trait that you want to get rid of, you need to fill it with love so it won't refill with something else.
exactly, exactly. And being light beings, that's who we are. We are,
Yes.
our soul is. We
Yes.
just have a human vehicle, a human body while we're here,
Mhm.
but we are not our bodies.
No. And on the nights, um, every Tuesday night, I have an open heart meditation. And one of the ways that we move into the meditation is I invite everyone to again reconnect with their true essence, which is light and energy. And the lighter we become, and we just kind of move out of the physical suit that we're wearing, and the body just sits there and snoozes away while our light energy rises and joins all of the illuminated people in the world. And I can honestly say that more and more and more people are allowing this to be, because when we rise above the earth and we see these rays of illuminated light shooting out from the earth, I tell you with every fiber of my being, more and more and more are joining us. The light is saying we are not going to be silenced. And that just
Yeah,
gives me chills, because to see all of these rays of light coming from the earth and shooting out and joining with the cosmos and joining with the oneness and reconnecting to their divinity. Um, it's a beautiful, beautiful sight. You know?
okay. But what can I do as a single person, right? But it is contagious. Just like, when you see a happy person, a joyful person, someone laughing, there are many people who can't resist, right? So trying to be your best version means that you do the best you can, and that varies. Now we're coming to the four agreements, back to that again, right? That
Of
varies
course.
from time to time. But because we are here, it's a dense energy. But when you work on dissolving your shadows, uh, figuring out things that are triggering you, getting rid of the darkness that you carry within you, and
Uh-huh.
just keep on stubbornly moving inwards to your authentic self. That's
Yes.
where the light is, and we are made of it. So just radiate it, and it is contagious. It is
Yes.
contagious.
Yes. And as you illuminate your own being, you find that your focus becomes very clear and very pure. And you start trusting your inner voice that is wants to lead you to this blessed inner peace, wants to eliminate the anxieties and the doubts. And it guides you on your path. And what happens is we start experiencing self-love, self-compassion, and self-forgiveness. We forget that we have packed into our being all the doubts, all the negativity that other people have placed upon us. So when you become compassionate for yourself, you say, okay, it's okay if I let these things go. You start loving yourself. You start moving forward, and your light becomes very brilliant. And interestingly enough, the brighter you shine, the more people want to be around you.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
like in the Celestine prophecies. Here you
Yeah.
are, this bright shiny light, and everybody says, I want some of that, so I'm going to take it from you. And because I can't make my own, and I'm going to take it from you. And but we've all also talked about boundaries, but this is something that does really, really honestly occurs.
Yeah. And you could feel that. And of course, one is going to attract both other positive light beings, but also maybe those who have a little bit more work to do on themselves,
Exactly.
right? But that's okay. But putting up boundaries, because what is not okay is to feel drained of energy. And the good news, because a lot of people I talk with, they say that I can't stand doing that because it's too many people. I can't stand going there. I can't stand crowds. But with time, everybody will master that. So it's
Yes.
like when you pour water on a goose, it's just slipping off.
Yes.
Maybe you will notice that, okay, there's something here I feel that is draining me. Okay, I don't change myself. I just close my energy.
I loved what you said when you were having someone that was just pulling your energy out, and what did you say that you uh, to stop that interference?
Yeah, and
Yes,
I honestly claim that this is very effective. It's so easy. It's very, very easy. But I have had my share of learning. So when you understand certain things, then you have to figure out a way to conquer that thing, right? And I am stubborn. I have said that many times before. So the procedure is very, very simple. I suggest doing it once a day, whenever one wants, preferably maybe in the morning. But you can do it as many times as you want to. But try to keep a good vibration while you're doing it. Don't have the intention of I'm angry or I'm scared or whatever it is. Just do it, right?
yes,
And I say something of this nature. I say I close the door to my
boom,
energy.
yeah,
Yeah, and for me, the door looks, it's a beautiful metal, very thick door with ornaments and stuff on.
of
But
course, of course.
you use any door, right? So I close the door to my energy for anyone who wants to use it, manipulate it, um, gain something from it, positively or negatively, in all existence of time and space without my conscious consent.
Yes,
That's it.
perfect, perfect. And I also have a very very intense way of creating a boundary around my center and around myself, uh, because when people come here for meditation, they need to be in a very protected area. And
Yeah.
interestingly enough, I had a friend who was very psychic and had never been here before, and she walks up and I open the door and she says, she's looking around very puzzled. She says, "Do you realize there's a force field around this property?" And I said, "Well, of course. I mean, doesn't everybody put a force field around their property?" And she says, "It is pretty intense." Well, what will happen if a person, there's stuff that sticks to us, negative thoughts and everything else, and they start falling off when they hit that energy. If a person is unable to let them go, they cannot get to my front door. And this happened the other night. Uh, three beautiful ladies that come here, and the very challenging grandmother had insisted on coming. Very, 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 very challenging. And and I said, "Did she have a problem getting to the door?" And she said, "Yeah, she stumbled 3 times." And not because there was anything in the way, but they understand energy, and they could see her just kind of as things were just dropping off of her. So it's very, very palatable. But I also carry that around. It's like I have this wooden fence. It has a gate, and I can let you in if I choose, but I don't have to open that gate. And a procedure of keeping ourselves clean. Otherwise, we would not be able to go out into the world, because
No.
I know you shine, and people just walk up to you and say, like old friends, "Hi, how are you?" You know, because we radiate that energy. And
Yeah.
but it's
And people, it's also a blessing, right? Because people, they feel good surrounding someone like us, right? Or other
yes,
people who worked on their lives. And that's a blessing, but also the part where boundaries are concerned.
yeah,
And I say something too. We're not supposed to be afraid of sharing energy because we live in a world
right,
where we exchange energy all the time. So it's a natural thing. But we should pay attention to, okay, did I get any attachments on myself? Do I feel tired? Is
right,
something off? Right? Because it happens to everybody. And at a certain many years ago, I tried to shield myself all the time. But that's not also working because I had the wrong intent. And that's why I said in the beginning,
yes,
do try to have a good vibration within because your intention counts, right?
oh yes, very
But
much so.
yeah, I do something else as well. I place properties, people, myself, my home, anything I want with into a crystal city, and I always say with at least 500 megahertz energy because that's a high conscious energy, and then I leave it to go up and down from 500 and up, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
as it wants, and that's also something one can do once a day or as many times as one feel for it, right?
Yeah, because sharing energy, we are energy beings. We just, our protection is not hurting other people, it is protecting us so nobody can siphon our energy, as you say, just like plug into us and go like this. If we decide to share our energy, that's one thing, but we're not just out there like a gas station where everybody can come up and start, taking
Yeah.
whatever they want to fill up. And um, and we find in our lives there are people that just because of their behavior are constantly needing us to give them that little bit of energy to go. And you can choose to be in that kind of relationship, or you can say, at sometimes you're going to have to start creating your own energy. And these are things that we
And,
learn as we go along this wonderful road.
and also in this world we live in, and I don't say this to for anyone to be scared or anything. It's just something I experienced it myself, and I know that it's real, and therefore that's when I did find my energy door, that kind of uh,
Absolutely.
procedure for myself. Because one day I did some clearings and stuff the long way, right? And then one day I just felt like a ping pong racket And I said, what's going on here? Someone was trying intentionally to send something. And that can happen too, but most of the
Yes.
time it's rare, to be honest with you. But it can
Right.
happen. It's nothing to be afraid of. We can conquer anything.
Yeah.
We just have to state it, right? Because no one has the right. That is intrusive, you know, tapping into your energy or doing things with your energy. It's like a spiritual rape. Sorry for the
No,
wording, but
that's the
it's
truth. I
very,
Yes,
yeah,
it's very invasive. It really is very invasive. And and as you said, the intent that you create you're not creating your boundaries out of fear. You're not creating them out of doubt. You're not creating them out of I'm better than you. You're creating them as if you would put a lovely little fence around your garden to keep the invasive little animals out. And
yeah,
you stay on your side and I stay on my side. And I know you and I both work interdimensionally. And not everything that is beyond our physical sight is all good and wonderful either. So you have to have boundaries that even in those realms. And but when we do our meditation, there is so much light in this building that everything wants to come and be part of it. And nothing, no thing, no thought can penetrate. They may be invited if they are for the highest good of everyone in the group, but they are not here to learn anything from us, take anything from us, or bask in the light, so to speak. If they cannot be a contributing, heartfelt uh, addition, then they just have to go and find another party. You know.
exactly. And you could say that people who come from that negative side, they 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 are not worth less than we are, but they
No.
have a different journey and they may be at a different stage, and therefore maybe their perception is that I can't provide myself with light, so therefore I made it a pattern to go and grab it
Yes,
from
and
wherever I
and
can, right?
and it's so amazing because the fifth insight that we were talking about is just talking about exactly what we're talking about now in a different menu. But when you start embracing your illumination, let your illumination guide you. Embrace it and let it shine for all those to see. That's fine. I know when I came to this planet at this particular time, I came specifically to assist the young souls who are just beginning to rise from that darkness and find their own light. Now, I don't really guide them. I hold my light so they can see their path illuminated even easier. I am here to shine the light on them until they find their own light. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey. I have watched these souls that are breaking through that crust of doubt and indecision and becoming these radiant beings. And it's I honestly feel like I am participating in their bringing into the light, and
Yeah,
it's a great feeling.
yeah, and that is wonderful. The concept of illumination resonates deeply most often with the human spirit, right? It speaks to our deep desire for understanding, for growth, and
Yeah.
for a sense of purpose that transcends the ordinary. So something that we probably know here that we can, but we don't know how to go there, right?
That's true.
The journey of reaching the light is a multifaceted one. It's not just one dimension or one thing, right?
No.
And encompassing various aspects of personal and spiritual development. So you have to dig into yourself, you have to see yourself. Both, it is a path of self discovery, resilience, and transformation. One key aspect of this journey involves confronting our inner darkness because we have that too. We live
Oh,
in
yeah.
this duality world, so we have darkness. And that darkness cannot actually continue to conquer us unless we let it. Meaning that if our light, we work on our light, that's going to dissolve, as you so beautifully said, the darkness, right?
Yeah.
As Carl Jung noted, true enlightenment comes not from imagining figures of light, but from making the darkness conscious.
That's right. Yes. And if you ever are in occasionally our electricity will go out when we have a summer storm, and everything is dark, and I turn on, well, I have a little lantern that I use, but if you light a candle, that light reaches it's so amazing that that one little candle will illuminate such a vast area. So it's not like you have to be, a big spotlight and shine it into the corners. As you grow and as your illumination becomes more and it touches the darkness, it literally dissolves it. It allows you to see what you choose to eliminate, change, ratify, whatever. We all have the certain aspects of our life because we've lived a human life, and we cannot come out of it unaffected. I mean, that's just the way it is. But each of the things that we choose to incorporate and move around, these become also our inner strengths and purpose. Oh man, when you start doing this little journey, purpose just pops up real quick.
Exactly. And we have been talking about energy and how energy works before. And, when we are making progress with our own illumination, we are stirring around the energy at the same time. And therefore, the darkness and we hold within shadows, things of that nature, things that we may judge with ourselves, right? And
Yes,
sometimes we judge ourselves way harder than we judge our neighbor, right?
that that is true.
Yeah.
Yes,
So don't be afraid of seeing that things that may feel uncomfortable are coming up because they come up for you to make a new choice about them.
exactly. And I love what you said about we are harder on ourselves than anyone else. Um, I had an opportunity to, I had 5 children like within 5 years. And then 20 years later, I had a surprise package. So she was kind of raised completely differently. And she may have done something that was not acceptable in the normal rules of whatever, didn't get her homework, I don't know, just something very minor. And I would simply say to her, well, if if I were you, what punishment would I give myself? And I would, and she was, because she was harder on herself than I was, she says, well, I would ground me for a week. And I think, well, I think a week is pretty harsh here. But the thing is that we have a tendency to not realize that we do in this life make errors, bad judgment, all kinds of things. We are having the human experience, but to be gentle with our own interpretation of who we are. And illumination is going to give you an extra light. And you're going to look at yourself and say, well, that's something that I would like to eliminate from what I do. And how can I do it? Oh, well, the light is showing me this way and this way. That's the beauty of getting into your inner light.
Exactly. And, acknowledging and integrating the less comfortable aspects of ourselves. That's diplomatically put, right?
Diplomatically, very.
Yeah. Such as shame, fear, and
Oh,
grief. By embracing these shadows, we can uncover hidden strengths and wisdom. There's always a blessing hiding within. So, most of the time, because as human beings, and this is the human part of us, we are convenient, let's say convenient, right? So when we encounter something that's going to feel like a little challenge, we very often go into resistance. But what resistance does, that's going to keep us where we don't want to be for a longer period of time.
exactly. And yet, if we were working out for the marathon, we would be embracing resistance, because
Yeah,
resistance is going to make us stronger. We're going to work a little harder. We're going to work through the resistance, and then our bodies and minds and the spirit are going to be stronger. And it's, as you said, it's not a negative, it is a positive to allow us to grow. And as we get older, we seem to think that we're not supposed to run into resistance because we're this age or that age. And that's the process of evolution, is to try it on. If it doesn't fit, kind of rearrange it. And
yeah,
always looking for that wonderful spark within. And when we
exactly.
start living our true divinity, our inner light, it's so much easier to embrace what's around us.
Yes, and it is an exciting journey. And actually, our challenges, small ones and big ones, can actually contribute to the greatest growth
Yes,
if we let
yes,
them.
yeah. And when you start finding that you're seeing things about yourself that you never saw before, because you're looking from a different point of view, your focus becomes very clear and very, I hate to say this, focused. But that's the true thing. You begin listening to your inner voice. You begin understanding that when you follow your passion, you follow your purpose, that there is so much love that you feel, and you step into this personal power, and this brilliant light just radiates outward from you.
And the journey of illumination also involves cultivating self compassion, right? So,
Very much so.
we talked about this very recently here, but don't judge yourself too hard. Sometimes we are slapping our face, ourselves in our face or on our head, or, how stupid are you? Why did you do that? Right? Instead of um, just acknowledging, okay, maybe that wasn't the smartest move. So I learned. So we are all meant to be sources of light in this world, and we have the capacity for it, right?
Yes,
Yet
we
we
do.
are often tempted to stray from our true selves, distracted by judgments or the approval of others, like you said also before.
Mhm.
Self compassion allows us to embrace our resilience and our power, knowing that they are the key to overcoming adversity and letting our light shine brightly.
Yeah.
If one person can, everybody can. And I promise that everybody can.
Yes, yes. And we constantly hear stories of children and people that are coming from absolute adversity, um, in lives that there is no way to even see a glimmer of life, and yet they have listened to that inner soul, and they've come up with these beautiful things that are really helping humanity. And I think because they have had such an adverse childhood and life, they are more compassionate, they are more understanding. So they are looking for ways not to make big bucks, but to bring illumination and comfort to those around them. And I constantly read these stories of sometimes the simplest things and sometimes the greatest thing. A young woman in the UK that created a thermal a blanket that was heated by the sun, and she gave them to the people that were living on the streets. So
Oh,
when there was sunlight, those blankets would get warm. So it was like an electric blanket, and people that are finding ways to uh, destroy all the pollution that we have with the plastic, and finding different fungi that are now ingesting the the plastics, finding these ways and not just saying, well, we're going to dump the whole thing and go to Mars, you know. And these are the souls that are listening to their self illumination.
yeah, they are. Indeed, they are. It's stunning. It comes down to a choice and also having self-compassion, because don't compare yourself with anyone else. We
No.
all have our own unique individual journey. So that means that maybe I'm not going to shine as bright as I want to do each and every day. Maybe one day is going to be 75%, the next day is going to be 100%, right?
Very
And it,
true.
it differs. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with me. Or if people treat me in a certain way, I can still have the choice to make, no, I rephrase that, sorry. I make a choice and I say, okay, I'm going to manage this in my own way, and I find my way because I won't allow that. Instead of because you think or you have been taught that you're just supposed to be. And this is very common for women.
Yes.
Um, I think that because our biology makes us the caretakers and the birth givers, right?
Yes. Yes.
So we are supposed to, assumptions, right? Supposed to be the glue in the family and the relationship, not having too many demands. Yeah, these days it is a little bit more equal, but I think we can also embrace the difference between male and women. And together they make out for something that can become a wonderful couple, right? It doesn't
Yes.
mean that we have to adapt to every convention that is imposed upon us.
Yes.
Does that make
And,
sense?
and that's the beauty about it. In my relationship class, I stress the fact, vive la différence. I mean, personally, I would not like to live with myself, you know. And and there are things that I am really great at. There's things that I need help with, and to have someone that is able to merge together, that we can embrace our differences, and instead of being two people that are living side by side, create this third being that is the uniqueness of both of us. And that doesn't mean that he has to be superior or she has to be superior. It's when we need to have him be the leader, we allow that. When he needs us to be the leader, we allow that, because there is this compassion, there is this blending and making a third entity instead
Yeah.
of you this, me that, you Tarzan, me Jane, and stuff like that. So it's
It's
it,
also about acceptance,
yeah,
accepting and dare to step out of conventions, right?
yeah, yes. And I found that with my daughters when my middle daughter got married, and he was in a band, and so on weekends he would he just locally, and he and his buddies would go play, and she understood that. Well, he supported her in going back to college, um, and together they raised the girls. He liked to do things, like he loved to cook and he loved to make things. So he became mostly the homebody and went to the school functions and everything else, while my daughter was getting her education. And it was a beautiful harmony of let us work together. And they raised two beautiful daughters. Uh, she ended up becoming Arizona's climatologist. So
Ooh,
if anybody wants to do something, they go check with her to see how it's, can we build this? Because if we have rains up here, will it, and everything else. And she's a professor. Actually, she's a doctor of geography, and she teaches at the universities and so forth. But they allowed each other to shine in their
yeah,
own capacity, and work together to also have this family. And
exactly.
when we embrace the light, that doesn't really mean, okay, now I'm just going to go out, I'm going to be on my steed, and here I am, ta da ta da, Superman, and so forth. We embrace the awakening, we embrace the becoming a whole person, an authentic person. And it's not against anyone, it's not for anyone, it is embracing our divinity.
Exactly. To be able to be who you are. And of course, we have differences as male and female, right? And that's just
That,
how it is.
thank
But
goodness.
but yes, but embracing them, and how often have you heard that you're a woman, you can't do that? And I say, give me a drill, right? I
Yep.
love fixing things
And lady, them is
in
fighting
the
words
house.
when you say I can't do something. I mean, I've built roofs, I carry bricks, I build fences, and I have the most beautiful ballroom dancing gowns that I created, and I am a beautiful ballroom dancer. I sculpt. I have my power tools. I have more power tools than a man. You know, so we can be and do anything that we choose. Now, granted, if I need to put something really, really big that's bigger than my arm span, I'm very grateful for help. I don't go, well, I'm a woman, I can do it. But, embracing that authenticity of yourself, and
Yeah.
having the courage to say, well, this works, that doesn't work, and gently, gently, it doesn't have to be a big ruckus, just gently find resolve.
Yes, exactly. And ultimately, the journey of reaching the light is about connecting with our inner essence,
Oh,
as we
absolutely.
said 50 times during the show, probably. We we were born out of the natural intelligence of the universe. Yes, the universe is intelligent,
Yes.
and the natural world reflects what is inside us. And we talked about that too. By staying connected to our divine nature, we can trust our inner goodness and wisdom, allowing it to lead us to deeper expressions of authenticity and fulfillment.
Yes.
Each moment becomes a chance to reconnect with our higher self, fostering growth and self discovery.
Very much so.
How about that?
Yes. And well said, because as you mentioned, we have said probably very much the same thing, like in many different ways, but it relates to different people in different ways. And that's the beauty of being authentic, is you don't have to be like the person next to you. You can pick and choose and go, oh, this works for me, and become that incredible soul, because each of us is extremely unique. Each of us is a very intricate part of the whole design. Without each of us being different, the end product would be missing something, just as if
Yeah.
a piece of the puzzle. And where is that piece I've been looking for? Well, that piece just doesn't want to come to the light, and it's sitting over there staying in the darkness. When is it going to wake up? We really need that. And that's the beauty of this intelligent universe, this divine love, this acceptance. And it's such a beautiful, visceral
Yeah.
journey
It,
when you
yeah.
start really feeling it. It's not, when I speak these words, I mean, they're just not words on a piece of paper or from my mind. I'm feeling it with the essence of my being. And it, well, what can I say? I kind of like this journey.
It is an exciting journey, and I've never this far heard anyone who says, I regret starting it. No one,
No,
no one.
there's parts and pieces that I would have liked to have a little smoother, but I have this beautiful plaque that's on my wall, and it kind of sums things up in as you become illuminated, you still run into situations, and it says manure occurreth, and it does, because no matter what you're doing in life, the you know what is going to hit the fan sometimes. But out of that manure groweth beautiful things. So even though you are embracing the light, there are times when you have situations that are just not really like you
Oh,
think they should be as being a person of the light.
yeah,
However, they are giving you opportunities to grow, to have compassion, to see things in different ways. And that's part of the journey also.
it is a big part of the journey, and try to avoid stepping into resistance. Grab,
that's true.
grab the bull by the horns instead and have a look at it. That's how you're going to work through it easier,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that's true.
So, you know, I can't resist. I have some questions. Would you like
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, fire away. Let's see.
fire away? The first one, when was the last time you felt truly in alignment with your inner voice?
Okay. That's a challenge because I have regular conversations with myself. Sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't. But um, that is a difficult question because I'm so used to being living with listening to my inner voice, And so I would say I feel that often, but the first time that I heard my inner voice, um, there again, that's hard because I look back at some of the things that happened in my life that were not done in a normal way, like talking to my son, knowing that he might not make it through this operation he had, and talking about the nitty gritty. That came from my inner being. That was not me. And when I look back on incidences in my life and I go, something beyond my physical human limitations took me to something that was deeper within. So
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that back at you. When did you last have a conversation with you?
Yeah, basically on a daily basis, to be honest with you.
Yes,
For me, it's more standing out when I don't.
that's
And
the key. Yeah, yeah.
last year, 30th of July, um, my own inner
Oh, okay.
sense told me, don't go bicycling with an electric bike. Don't do it.
Don't
But
do
I
it.
did. Yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
broke my leg. I think
Two
everybody knows
places.
that.
Two places. Yeah. Yeah.
I
You didn't
think
just
even
break
three.
it.
No, I think three places because bones in the foot, the knee, and the knee was not only one crack. Um,
Yeah.
it was multiple fractures. Anyway, so I think for me, I remember those times when I don't. And no matter how far we think we have come, we are still human beings living souls living a human experience, right?
Right.
So we are going to make mistakes. And I'm one of those who sometimes I hear my guidance and I say,
Eh.
I hear you, but I don't know right now.
Later. Later. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Okay.
And next question, what parts of your life still sit in shadow? What might they be trying to teach you? That's a hard question too.
What do you do? Sit up and go, let's see how much we can torment her on the, put her on the spotlight. Well, that's another one that when you become accustomed to uh, greeting a shadow, you don't go into the and everything else. You go, okay, well, I call it deep cleaning. I just have been doing a deep clean in my house. I mean, down to the nuts and the bolts in the corners and everything else. And I think when you begin this journey and the light goes where it needs to go, and all of a sudden it lights up this and you go, well, that's interesting. I thought I had resolved that, and maybe we had, but life is kind of like a three-dimensional chess game. You make one move here and down here, it makes a difference in everything else. So it's you make an adjustment and you go, okay, well, that wasn't completely resolved, so I will address that. And I think for myself personally, that's kind of how I do it. And with each revelation, I do learn another aspect of myself. And
Yeah,
it it's a learning process.
it
It,
is a learning process. And I think my way of coping with things is that um, to go in a different direction from all those people, with the work I do online, talking to people over the phone, right?
yes.
But I can understand them, but I don't have the urge to figure out what's going to happen next week, next
Oh,
month, or if
no.
I'm going to be friends with that person, or that guy is going to love me, or, things of that nature. I don't diminish them. I do understand, but
Yes.
I approach life differently because it's like when you start to master this journey and the energies and you understand them, it doesn't mean that we don't encounter challenges because we do all the time, but we approach them differently.
Yes.
I don't step into fear any longer. I have no fear. What am I going to be afraid of? Because I know that this is still, it is just something. I'm going to be here for a while and that's it. So I'm going to do my best, right?
Yes.
And if that doesn't work, I'm going to make a new choice. So I take a step back and I observe a bigger picture, and I let myself kind of taste, feel, um, sometimes also logic thinking about certain things, right? And then I take my next step. But I'm not
Yeah.
fearful. There's no failure for me. It doesn't exist, right?
Yeah. Well, I think you said something very, very, very important is that when we start stepping into the light, um, I found this for myself. I'm living in the now. Uh, I don't carry what happened and have it influence my decisions on what I'm doing now. And I'm not living in the future. I'm living in this moment
Yeah.
and resolving things as we go and allowing, and that's a big, big word, allowing universal guidance, inner direction, and all the things that do help us navigate, allow those things to come to fruition instead of going, well, I've got to do this and I've got to get that and I got and everything else. I have a young man that has worked very, very hard and very prestigious job, but new management is just making life miserable. And he keeps wanting to do the job, and I suggested to him, open to the possibilities that something that you cannot even see at this time might be available. Just open yourself to the possibilities instead of trying to figure out what to do here and what to do there and what to do here. Just allow that there are greater possibilities out there. And the
Yeah.
allowing, it takes the pressure off. But living in the now and not worrying about what's going to be. And this is also gives you great joy.
It gives very much joy, actually. And it is what we have been stating in many, many different shows, right? Because it is important. I can't let my past determine me, you know,
No.
like everybody else. I have made mistakes, probably conscious and sometimes maybe unconscious, right?
Yes.
It's part of being human, but I can't let that determine me. And I won't. And that's a choice, right? Because whatever happened, maybe I made a choice 20 years ago for something that was the best I could choose at that time, right? So I'm not
Exactly.
going to go back and sit and have anxiety over it or uh, what if, because now things are, my journey brought me to this place here and now,
Yes.
and I'm happy about it, right?
Yes. As we were talking last week about souls that recirculate, and people get hung up in, oh, well, I love it when they say I was Cleopatra or I was, this or that and everything else. And they get so involved with the ego of saying, well, my past life was bigger than your past life. And you could have been a dirt slayer. I mean, a mudslinger. So, I mean, whatever it was has given you an opportunity to be in the now. But to go back and live in there, you're missing what's here. And
Yeah,
at the soul level, we have the memory of all of these past incarnations, and we should embrace them by illuminating our soul and stepping out of the darkness, because in the darkness will be things that we want to kind of put spit and polish on. And
yeah, exactly. And the future, that is like an unpainted canvas right now, because
yes,
we can create it from now. We can make new choices. We can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
So why worry about the future, right?
Yep. Yep. You
And
know,
I love this question. If your soul had a color today, what would it be?
that's interesting. Um, you know, I'm hoping that it is this luminous, brilliant beam that is just expands everywhere. But if my aura, which is attached to how I'm feeling today, I'm thinking because I chose the blue, um, that turquoise would be very much in my color, very calming, soothing, and people that have seen my aura, and the aura changes constantly as the soul is going through different things. That's going to emit a different frequency, and people think that, oh well, you just have this one. No, you have a variety, and you may have turquoise up here, and you may have purple over here, and you may have rose color right here, and that's the beauty of it. But uh, I don't know. I may have to just call up my soul and said, "What color are you today?" That
I
was
just had
interesting.
something. Yeah, it's an interesting question. That's why I love it. And I just feel like today I'm blue. Today my soul is blue.
Well, how did we both wear blue?
Yeah,
You know,
how about that?
I wore blue because yesterday we actually had precipitation that actually fell from the skies, and I think it's called rain. I'm not sure because we don't see much of it, but it was liquid and it was hitting the ground, and so in celebration, I honor the fact that it came for just it was only here about half an hour, but we went out and go, thank you rain, thank you rain. You know,
And next question. What
whoa.
limiting story are you ready to release in order to step into your radiance? I think you've released most of it, to be
Ah,
honest.
okay, I'm going to throw that one right back at you, girl.
Thank you. Um, I don't feel that I'm limiting myself in that sense that I used to do, because now I catch myself when I'm doing it. Um, Maybe it would be sometimes to still pay attention because when I get a little bit annoyed or angry or irritated, Mediterranean temper and everything, I may say things that are sounding limiting for myself.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe that's something to work on for the times ahead.
Yes. And as you said, we are constantly we're fluid and we're not stagnant. And uh, some days our best is radiant, and sometimes our best is, uh, occurreth,
Yeah.
and we have to deal with it. Um, and that's the beauty of at least having a big flashlight, our soul's illumination, that says, "Oh, wait a minute, you're going to step in it. You better go around. Uh, how are you going to navigate this?" And that is the joy of this journey. Is not I never feel lonely. I never feel I love my solitude and my serenity, but I never feel lonely. I never feel that I am not part of something. And I think once your light goes off and you can touch the others' souls, that their light's going, you know that you have this interconnection, and it's comforting.
Yeah, it's comforting and it's beautiful. And my take is that this is not the real thing. When we transition over, we go back home.
Yes.
That's it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And last question. How do you define illumination in your own words, and where are you currently seeking it?
For me personally, I find enjoying the illumination allows me to find such a peace and purpose and meaning. And as I said, I get excited over the rain. I get excited over watching someone step into their illumination. I get static, ecstatic when I see the love between a child and an animal. I embracing all of the beauty of the human spirit, because 99.9% of the humans on earth are wanting to be this wonderful, caring people. It's only a small percent that we hear about all the time. So I celebrate seeing them in their growth, in their evolution.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And yeah, I think that we are up to wrapping it up.
I do
What do
too.
you say?
Thank you very much. I love being put on the hot seat, but you see, I turned it right back at you, didn't I?
You did. Good. And it's time to wrap this up on this luminous journey with the Cosmic Sister Show and Miss Kareen and myself discussing embracing illumination, the journey of reaching the light. As Anne and Kareen have been guiding you back from the stars to your everyday orbit, remember the light you seek is already within you. It is waiting to be remembered, embraced, and embodied. Whatever you're glowing with clarity or still dancing with the shadows, know this. You're not alone in the journey, and every step toward illumination matters. Let your purpose pulse louder. Let your brilliance shine bolder. And let your spirit speak because the world is ready for your light.
Yes,
Until next time, stay cosmic, stay curious, and keep turning darkness into dawn, right? You
beautiful.
can find all past episodes and upcoming at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. And our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sisters is next Wednesday, July 30th. Oh, that's my big day. With me and Corinne, and we will talk about the Celestial Prophecy by James Redfield. Insight 6, the role of intuition. Trusting intuition helps guide us.
Wow.
So, just saying something briefly about we launched a 12-part series in May this year, where we dive into the Celestial Prophecy, originally written by James Redfield, right? And throughout the year, we will explore its insights and real world applications, culminating in a full summary of all revelations. That's going to be a long show, I think. Join the journey, and we stream the series twice a month. And certain months we have 4 Wednesdays, and other months we do actually have five. So when we have five, we still stream just twice a month with the series, right? You can find coming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past, and all our series. This is our second series. We made the four agreements. You find them on angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. And we do go live for you every Wednesday because it's our passion and we love doing this and chatting about everything.
Yes.
And hopefully we can ignite a little bit of light in someone saying something that resonates with someone, that's going to be the spark that that person needs to move forward. That is a passion of ours. And you can always connect with us and find phone number for Corrine, her website, my connection points and stuff of that nature at angelgraceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And thank you for watching us and staying with us. And I say, we see you, we love you, we appreciate you.
Yes. And we do see you, and we are looking at your illuminous light, and may it shine bright, because every single soul is part of the whole.
Exactly. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.